After 95 years at Western Springs, Speedway is moving to Waikaraka Park in Onehunga, Auckland, despite opposition from the motorsport community and messy handling of the process, says many, by council officers. After 7 hours of debate, Auckland councillors voted 11-8 yesterday to spend $11 million upgrading Waikaraka Park, the home of stock and saloon car racing, and to host Speedway from the 25-26 summer season. Speedway, as we know it, will race at Western Springs this summer season for the last time. The proposal to move Speedway turned messy at a meeting of the governing body last week when an officer's report showed support for consolidation at Waikaraka Park across the sport, including backing from Speedway New Zealand. However, Speedway's General Manager Aaron Kirby stated in a letter read out at the meeting by Councillor John Watson that there had been a misrepresentation of the intent of the initial support letter. And Councillor John Watson joins me now. John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
John, Speedway New Zealand says it's been blindsided by Auckland Council's decision, forcing them to move from Western Springs. Have they been?
Oh, absolutely. This and the views of people like Speedway New Zealand have been completely misrepresented in this process as well. So really, up until just a couple of days ago, most people in the Speedway community, bar a few selected so-called stakeholders, have been totally oblivious to the fact that their eviction after 95 years was very much in the offing. So this has been sprung on both the elected people and indeed on the wider Speedway community, and their fans will probably only just be finding out about it today.
Speedway's president, Lani Thompson, said the organisation supported the upgrade of Waikaraka Park, but had not agreed to close Western Springs and that key members had not been consulted. What do you say to that? Were they kept in the dark?
Yeah, they certainly were. Some of the people who were consulted were labouring under the misapprehension that, yes, Waikaraka Park needed upgrade, and everyone supported that. It's in a parlous state. It's dilapidated, run down, has been for decades. So no one disagreed with that. But what no one realised, or very few people realised, was the condition of that. So almost the bargaining chip or blackmail, however you want to say it, was that Western Springs Speedway moved in total to Waikaraka, which is a totally different thing and which is not understandably supported by the vast majority of people that race at Western Springs, and by nearly, I would imagine, everyone that goes along to watch it.
John, what is behind this at the end of the day? Is it all about money? I mean, the Mayor, Wayne Brown, says Western Springs Speedway is heavily constrained by planning rules. It's expensive to run. It's limited to 12 events a year and runs at a loss of $1.1 million a year for ratepayers. So surely are those enough reasons to move it?
No, that's a pretty tainted view of things, Leah. The only reason that's constrained, or the main reason it's constrained here, is because the council CCO, Tātaki Auckland Unlimited, that controls Western Springs, have wanted to get Speedway out for years and years. Okay, they've wanted them gone since way back, and they have made it really, really difficult for them to operate there. Yes, there is restrictions on the number of events they can have, but just like Eden Park, who's now looking to double the number of concerts they put on, they're at liberty to go for a resource consent or plan change that would change that, because the issues to do with noise that were historically resulted in that limitation, they've long since been addressed. So that's actually that's just a pretext, really. That's been a smoke screen, and there was a lot of smoke at that meeting yesterday. I can tell you.
Well, listen, 7 hours, John. Jeez, that's is that a normal amount of time to debate something like this, or to me, that's a long time.
Yeah, it is, and part of the main reason for that, there was a whole number of people, individuals and groups from Western Springs Speedway who turned up at the meeting in the expectation that they'd have speaking rights because they haven't been heard or consulted upon, they were denied those speaking rights by the mayor. And the reason it went on for 5-7 hours is because councillors were also blindsided by this. So I'm a councillor. I only found out about this topic, that this was coming up, this issue, this historically very sensitive issue that has caused a lot of angst in the community. I only found out it by reading a newspaper article by a reporter who had been obviously leaked the story, and he was discussing what was going to happen at this forthcoming council meeting. To that point, no one knew anything about it. So this has been an ambush.
$11 million is now going to be used, they're saying, for critical work at Waikaraka Park. That will include track lighting, expanded pit areas, refurbished facilities. Is this, does Speedway see any benefits in this, or because it's a different, track, different cars, it's still going to mean nothing?
Yeah, well, the only reason they're going is because they've been given an ultimatum. So basically that Auckland Council CCO have told them, your lease is up, your time's over, you're going. So that's been the extent of negotiation. It's coercion, it's not negotiation for a start. And as far as the move to Waikaraka goes, and with all due respect to Waikaraka, it's dilapidated, it's run down. $11 million is not going to go very far there. There is absolutely no comparison between the kind of internationally acclaimed Western Springs, which has been an iconic speedway venue in Auckland for, as you said, the best part of 100 years. To put all the classes into Waikaraka, and, they're like, the speedway classes are quite different. It's like almost two different sporting codes put together. There's real concerns about the future and the compatibility, about safety, and I guess most importantly, whether that very loyal fan base, generational fan base who have quite happily gone to Western Springs, whether they're going to go all the way across to, to Onehunga, to a pretty run-down venue that needs a lot more work put into it than they plan to do.